Imagine this. One morning, Sam, a 32-year-old engineer, opens his investment app before leaving for work. There are no fireworks, no congratulatory message, no life-changing phone call, just one number quietly sitting on the screen: $750,000. For years, this was the goal, the number he believed would finally make him feel financially secure. But instead of celebrating, Sam doesn't realize he's just entered one of the most dangerous stages of building wealth. Why? Because from this point forward, one bad financial decision can erase years of hard work. Welcome back to Sam Invests, where we simplify money and investing with practical lessons that actually help you build lasting wealth. Here's something most people never think about. When your net worth is $20,000, a mistake is annoying. At $100,000, it's painful. But at $750,000, mistakes become incredibly expensive. A normal 10% market decline suddenly means losing $75,000 on paper. For many families, that's an entire year's income disappearing in just a few weeks. At this stage, your savings aren't growing mainly because of how much you earn. They're growing or shrinking because of how you behave. That's the real shift. During your first years of investing, your paycheck is your biggest financial weapon. But after reaching a number like $750,000, your portfolio starts working harder than you do. For many investors, the market can add or subtract more money in a single month than they save in an entire year. That's why this milestone is so different. Most people think becoming wealthier makes money easier to manage. In reality, it makes your decisions far more important. For many investors, the biggest long-term risk isn't the market itself. It isn't inflation alone, and it isn't even a recession by itself. The biggest risk is becoming overconfident and abandoning the habits that built your wealth in the first place. That's exactly when people begin upgrading their lifestyle, taking bigger investment risks, or chasing opportunities that promise quick returns. Ironically, many people delay becoming millionaires not because they earn too little, but because they became careless after building substantial wealth. Think of wealth like climbing a mountain. Reaching the top isn't the hardest part. Coming back down safely is. History is full of investors who built impressive fortunes, only to lose a large part of them because they stopped following the habits that got them there. The good news? Avoiding these mistakes doesn't require genius. It requires patience. In this video, we'll walk through the biggest traps people fall into after reaching $750,000. And more importantly, the simple habits that quietly turn that amount into 1 million and beyond. Because once you understand how this stage of wealth really works, you'll realize something surprising. At this level, making more money matters less than making fewer mistakes. Let's start with the first mistake almost everyone makes without even noticing. The first mistake doesn't look like a mistake at all. It feels like a reward. After years of saving and investing, Sam starts telling himself something that sounds completely reasonable. I've worked hard. Maybe it's time to enjoy life a little more. There's nothing wrong with enjoying the money you've earned. The problem begins when every raise, every investment gain, and every financial milestone quietly turns into higher monthly spending. It doesn't start with buying a mansion. It starts with a nicer apartment, a luxury SUV instead of a reliable car, more expensive vacations, premium subscriptions, dining out more often. Individually, none of these decisions seems dangerous. Together, they slowly steal the future your investments could have created. Imagine Sam increases his monthly spending by just $2,000. That's $24,000 every year that no longer gets invested. Historically, money left invested in a diversified portfolio over the long term has had the potential to grow significantly. Depending on market performance, those extra investments could grow into hundreds of thousands of dollars over the next decade. That's the real price of lifestyle inflation. You're not paying with today's money, you're paying with tomorrow's freedom. Now imagine 3 different versions of Sam. In the first version, Sam stays disciplined. He keeps investing automatically every month, ignores daily market headlines, and sticks to a simple, diversified investment strategy. He doesn't try to outsmart the market. He simply stays consistent. In the second version, Sam gets busy with life. His investments become scattered across different accounts, and he never checks how much he's paying in management fees. Everything looks fine on the surface, until those small yearly fees quietly begin, slowing down his long-term growth. In the third version, Sam becomes overly cautious. After hearing endless predictions about market crashes, he moves most of his money into cash because it feels safer. He sleeps better at night, but inflation quietly reduces the value of that cash year after year. Same person, same starting net worth, 3 different choices, 5 years later, 3 very different outcomes. That's what makes $750,000 such an important milestone. Your future depends less on how much you earn, and far more on the decisions you repeat year after year. As Sam's investments continued growing, something unexpected happened. The steady returns that once made him happy suddenly started feeling ordinary. A normal year in the market no longer seemed exciting. That's when dangerous thoughts quietly appeared. Maybe I need something with higher returns. Maybe I'm being too conservative. Almost immediately, new opportunities seemed to appear everywhere. Friends talked about investments that could supposedly double his money. Social media was full of success stories. Financial advertisements promised impressive returns with surprisingly little risk. Everything sounded like the opportunity of a lifetime. But here's what experienced investors understand. The closer you get to financial independence, the less you need spectacular returns. What you really need is to avoid spectacular mistakes. Whenever Sam heard someone promise unusually high returns, he learned to ask one simple question. Where is that return actually coming from? If the answer wasn't clear, he walked away. Protecting wealth became more important than chasing excitement. Then Sam discovered another silent enemy, fees. At first they looked insignificant, just small percentages buried inside account statements. But once he calculated the actual dollar amount, the picture completely changed. Even a small annual fee can quietly remove thousands of dollars from a large portfolio every single year. Money that never gets the chance to compound. So Sam reviewed every account. He compared costs. He simplified his investments wherever possible. It wasn't an exciting decision, but it was one of the most profitable decisions he ever made. And there was one final habit he had to change: checking his portfolio constantly. Some mornings his investments gained thousands of dollars. Other days they lost even more. Nothing about his long-term plan had changed. Only the market's daily mood had. The more often Sam watched those numbers move, the more tempted he became to react emotionally. Eventually, he realized something powerful. Successful investing isn't about making perfect decisions every week. It's about making good decisions and giving them enough time to work. Instead of checking his investments every day, Sam reviewed them only at scheduled intervals. He trusted his plan instead of his emotions, and that's exactly what allowed compounding to keep doing its job. By now, Sam realized something important. Building wealth and protecting wealth are 2 completely different skills. For years, his mission was simple: earn more, save more, and invest consistently. But after reaching $750,000, his job quietly changed. He no longer needed to take bigger risks. He needed to protect what he'd already built. So instead of searching for the next hot investment, Sam made a few simple changes. He kept an emergency fund covering several months of expenses. He reviewed his investments on a regular schedule, instead of reacting to daily headlines. He checked every account for unnecessary fees and moved into low-cost index funds where appropriate. Most importantly, he automated everything. Every payday, money was invested automatically before he had a chance to spend it. No guessing, no emotional decisions, just consistency. Because the truth is, discipline beats intelligence in investing far more often than people realize. There's another step many people ignore until it's too late: protecting your wealth. As your net worth grows, so does your responsibility. A simple will, updated beneficiary information, adequate insurance. These aren't exciting topics, but they can protect years of hard work from unexpected events. Many people spend hours researching investments, yet never spend one afternoon making sure their family is financially protected. That's a costly mistake. Here's another mindset shift that changes everything. Stop comparing your financial journey to someone else's. There will always be someone making more money, someone buying a bigger house, someone claiming they doubled their investment overnight. None of that changes your financial plan. Wealth isn't built by winning someone else's race. It's built by consistently following your own. The market rewards patience far more often than excitement. And perhaps the biggest lesson of all is this. When your investments become large enough, your greatest advantage isn't finding better investments. It's avoiding unnecessary mistakes. Think of a tree you planted years ago. You don't help it grow by digging it up every week to check the roots. You water it, protect it, then you let time do the rest. Your portfolio works the same way. Constantly checking it, changing strategies, reacting to every headline, those actions often slow down the very growth you're hoping to achieve. Sometimes doing less is actually doing more. So, whether your net worth is $50,000, $250,000, or you've already crossed $750,000, remember this. The habits that build wealth are important, but the habits that protect wealth are what turn it into lasting financial freedom. Keep your lifestyle under control. Avoid unnecessary risk. Watch your fees. Stay invested. Be patient, and let compounding work quietly in the background. One day, you'll look back and realize that becoming a millionaire wasn't about making one brilliant decision. It was about making 100 ordinary decisions and sticking with them. If you enjoyed this video and found it valuable, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications here on Sam Invests.